Good evening. We're broadcasting tonight from Bradenton, Florida, which is south of Tampa, just north of Sarasota. This community largely dodged a bullet on this storm, although you can see not everybody was quite so lucky in this area. We're on the West Coast, but it's hard to find a part of this state, frankly, that wasn't affected one way or another by Hurricane Irma. And over the next 2 hours, we're going to take you all over the state, from the Florida Keys, where we're really just getting a first look at the extent of the destruction there, to up in Jacksonville, which saw historic storm surge and flooding, and they are still right now dealing with very dangerous flooding. Irma storm winds are hitting Atlanta right now. So far, there's one confirmed storm-related death in Florida, which is a single-car accident in Orange County, but sadly, the death toll likely will mostly rise. And the full extent of the damage, frankly, that won't be known for days. There's, of course, the immediate issue that so many Floridians are dealing with right now, lack of electricity. Millions are still without power, but as we've seen all over the state, the people here may be without electricity, but they are certainly not without their strength. Irma's fury, leaving a path of destruction not seen in Florida in decades. The storm knocking out power to millions.
I've been here for, 22 years? I've never seen nothing like it.
The southernmost Keys bore the brunt of the storm. The images emerging show widespread destruction. Some of the towns remain cut off, making getting them aid a challenge. Naples was hit hard as well. This aerial footage over the city captures some of the flooding. The number of homes damaged or outright destroyed is still unknown, but the impact of Irma spans nearly the entire state. Many first responders had to remain off the streets during the storm, but quickly got to work as soon as possible. They rescued 50 people from a Riviera Beach apartment complex after the roofs partially blew off 2 of the buildings, according to the city's mayor. And amidst the chaos, a healthy baby girl was born, thanks to the help of the Coral Springs Fire Department.
When we got there, she was pretty much almost all the way out, and she was, the patient's mother, the mother of the person in labor, was actually pretty much delivering the baby, her own granddaughter, in the bathroom on the floor.
Moving all the flamingos for the hurricane.
People went out of their way as well to protect animals, from escorting flamingos to safety.
We're filming this manatee right now. This is crazy, dude.
To these men who helped save a stranded manatee in Sarasota Bay. In Okeechobee, Tabby Fisher brought her horses inside during the storm. As Irma moved north, it brought record-breaking flooding to Jacksonville. Water levels surpassing the previous held record set in 1964. And in Charleston, South Carolina, portions of the city are flooded, and the governor says thousands are without power. We're going to talk to the mayor in Jacksonville shortly just to get a sense of the extent of the flooding. That's the situation they're dealing with. There's a lot of water still on the ground. As I mentioned, we're also getting a look at the damage now at the Florida Keys, really getting our first glimpses. Irma, as you know, hit the Keys Sunday morning. It was a Cat 4 hurricane when it hit. Thousands of people stayed there to ride out the storm. Our Bill Weir has been reporting from the Keys since before the hurricane hit. He joins us now. So tell us what you're seeing, where you are, and just what it's like.
You know, Anderson, the sky today turned from black to blue, paradise blue, and the mood turned from anticipation and fear of the storm to just utter shock and heartbreak as you see what's left of so much of the Florida Keys. This is the Sea Breeze mobile home park here in Plantation Key, about mile marker 87, about 60 miles north of where the eye of the storm. So it gets worse the farther south you go. You just can't get down there. The roads are impassable. The cell service is out. We have to use cellular phones. So there's so much uncertainty as to how loved ones, how neighbors are doing. And it's so hard to talk to each other, and the basic necessities are all gone. But I actually met a few residents of Sea Breeze. This is Rich and Stacy and Roxy. Come on over. And this is Billy. These folks moved out of here in May. Good to see all of you. Thanks for being with me. Billy, you're here as well. You guys I was seeing the shock, Stacy, on your face as you came and saw what your old neighborhood looked like.
It's just devastating. It's we feel for our friends and family that we became part of our family when we lived here. We're here for about 3 years, and we came to take some pictures for people that were concerned about their homes, and they're they're not just snowbirds. These are their homes, families that lived here, and we're just so sorry, and we just pray that everybody's safe, and everybody will be okay.
Right. And you see this, I don't know if you can see behind Stacy, the X on the door there, that's a sign. As they did search and rescue today, the date and the time, that means no bodies were found in. A lot of X's here, thankfully, Billy, no lives lost. You rode out the storm nearby here. Your family has been in this neighborhood since Donna blew ashore, basically, in 1960, right? What is it like seeing your home scattered everywhere?
Yeah, it's devastating. We were right on the ocean front there, and so there's nothing left. It's completely gone. And we're hoping, just like Stacy said, we're hoping to get the families back in here and back to normal living conditions. And we're hoping FEMA and Sun Communities will help us out in doing that. Yeah. And as soon as possible, because this was a residential neighborhood, Seabreeze mobile home park, not a tourist destination.
Right. These are year-rounders, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And what's so striking to me today, I had total strangers come up and offer us water and offer us gasoline. That's sort of the spirit of the Keys, right? And that gives hope that the rebuilding will come together.
Exactly. We actually came down here. We brought pizza to somebody that lives across the street, and Tower Pizza was open. I'm sure you guys have been
the one
eating
place,
there. So we have just enough gas for one more trip, and a lot of people have been on Facebook that live here. They kept asking us again. This is the second time we've been here, and we were able to get in. They're like, just please tell us what's left. Take a picture, and. Like you said, sadly, this was Mark's, this is Kat and Dave's. I mean, these are people that,
Right. Yeah, we see wreckage, but you see homes, you see families.
Yeah, exactly.
What about just the day-to-day going forward, Billy? Come on in here. We got no power. We got no AC.
Yeah.
We got no telephone service, got no running water. Are you going to stay here and ride all this out? Are you going to get out and let things take its course?
Yeah, stay here and try to help out the residents as much as possible. Like I said, get us back to normal living conditions. We're devastated here. We still have probably about 50% of the building still standing. Yeah. But other than that, everything else is off its foundation. And so we're just hoping to get back to normal living conditions. Hopefully FEMA and Sun Communities will help out Seabreeze Mobile Home Park and get us back on our feet.
Sun Communities, a big multinational that I heard bought a bunch of mobile home parks recently. So it's up to them to either turn this into condos or give the trailers back to the folks who've been here forever.
Yeah, and we're hoping that doesn't happen.
That's their decision, just to give it back to the people who've been here.
These are people that work at the local restaurants, bars, or, the dock master across the street at the park. It's a community. And hopefully it can return to, community.
Well, our hearts go out to all of you, and I know our viewers do as well. And so thank you for talking to us and be so hospitable.
Thank you.
Good luck. Godspeed going forward. Anderson, just a little sample of just a couple families that are still reeling for what Irma wrought. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah. Bill, I was watching you walk around earlier today when I was seeing some of your reports, and one of the things that really struck me was just kind of the silence that exists. You hear the wind coming off the water, but you don't hear cars. You don't hear the usual sounds of a community alive. You hear things that are broken. You hear a storm drain, a storm gutter that's scraping on the street. All the sounds of kind of wind whipping through the metal and the residue of people's homes. It's such a surreal and kind of sickening sound.
It is. It strikes me. I've covered a few, disasters, and one of the pieces of the soundtrack is always there are car alarms or home alarms just sounding to no answer. And you walk through a neighborhood like this and you see children's coloring books on the ground. We found a box of family photos, and you imagine, what this place, how it would sound like, full of life, right? But at the same time, we also heard the sound of the cavalry coming. We saw first responders from LA Fire Department rolling down US 1, Miami-Dade. So soon they'll hear the sound of rebuilding and hopefully life back to normal. It'll take a while, but you got a sense of the resilience of the conchs who call this place home.
Yeah, well, Bill, we appreciate you being there and wish everybody there the best. Key West has been cut off. We hadn't heard really from many officials there until just before air. I spoke on the phone with Key West City Manager Jim Scholl. Jim, how are things on the island? How are residents doing?
We're doing reasonably well, considering that we had a Cat 4 make landfall just 20 miles up the road. It was a lot of devastation, but mostly, as the mayor told you, vegetation and the complications of trees falling on utilities, either falling